Welcome back to the channel where we bring you the most compelling stories from royal houses across the globe, and today we have something that has sent shockwaves through royal circles and left millions of followers questioning what they thought they knew about one of the most glamorous yet troubled royal marriages in modern history. Before we dive into this extraordinary development, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like icon, and share this video with anyone who follows royal news because what we're about to reveal will change how you see this iconic couple forever. Drop your thoughts in the comments below as we unravel this mystery together. Princess Charlene of Monaco, the former Olympic swimmer who captured hearts worldwide when she married Prince Albert in what was supposed to be a fairy tale wedding, has just marked her 10th wedding anniversary in the most unexpected and telling way possible. A new video has emerged showing the princess celebrating this significant milestone, but here's the twist that nobody saw coming. She wasn't in Monaco, she wasn't by her husband's side, and the footage has sparked an avalanche of questions about what's really happening behind the gilded doors of the prince's palace. This isn't just another rumor or tabloid speculation, this is documented evidence that one of Europe's most watched royal couples may be living very separate lives despite official statements suggesting otherwise. The video that surfaced shows Princess Charlene in what appears to be a private celebration, miles away from the principality she calls home, raising immediate red flags for royal observers who have been tracking the tumultuous journey of this marriage since its very beginning. 10 years should be a time of reflection, celebration, and togetherness, a moment when couples look back on a decade of shared memories, challenges overcome, and dreams realized together. Instead, what we're witnessing is a princess who seems to be commemorating this milestone in isolation, away from the pomp and circumstance that typically surrounds royal anniversaries, and definitely away from the man she married in front of the world's cameras back in 2011. To understand the significance of this latest development, we need to revisit the complex history of Charlene and Albert's relationship because this isn't the first time distance has characterized their union. From the moment engagement rumors began circulating, there were whispers in royal circles about reluctance, about tears before the wedding, about attempts to leave that were allegedly thwarted at the airport. These stories were dismissed as cruel gossip at the time, but as years have passed and patterns have emerged, those early warnings now seem almost prophetic. The wedding itself was spectacular, a 3-day extravaganza that cost an estimated $70 million and drew celebrities, dignitaries, and royals from around the world, but even then, observers noted something off about the bride's demeanor, a sadness behind the smile that no amount of couture could disguise. The early years of the marriage appeared stable enough on the surface, with Charlene throwing herself into charity work and royal duties with the dedication of an athlete who understood commitment and hard work. She became particularly involved with causes related to water safety, drowning prevention, and supporting disadvantaged children, using her platform to make genuine differences in people's lives. The birth of twins Jacques and Gabriella in December 2014 seemed to cement the family unit, providing hope that whatever struggles had marked the beginning of the marriage were now firmly in the past. Royal watchers breathed a collective sigh of relief, believing that perhaps the fairy tale could have a happy ending after all, that love and duty could coexist even in the pressure cooker environment of royal life. But then came 2021, a year that would expose the fractures in this relationship like never before. Charlene traveled to South Africa for what was supposed to be a brief conservation trip, but medical complications from a sinus procedure kept her stranded there for months, unable to fly due to pressure restrictions. Or at least that was the official explanation. The princess spent over 6 months away from Monaco, away from her children, away from her husband, and the images that emerged during this period told a story of profound unhappiness. Photographs showed a gaunt, almost unrecognizable Charlene, with a dramatic new platinum buzz cut that shocked royal watchers and suggested something deeper than a simple medical delay was occurring. Albert made brief visits, photo opportunities were arranged to show family unity, but the optics couldn't hide what seemed obvious to anyone paying attention. When Charlene finally returned to Monaco in November 2021, the reunion was short-lived. Within weeks, she had departed again, this time checking into a treatment facility outside of Monaco for what the palace described as exhaustion and emotional strain. She spent months in this facility, missing Christmas with her children, missing important royal events, essentially disappearing from public life while speculation ran rampant about everything from marriage breakdown to mental health crises to theories even more dramatic. The official narrative spoke of burnout, of recovery, of a princess who had simply pushed herself too hard, but the extended absence and the secrecy surrounding her treatment location suggested complications far beyond simple fatigue. Since returning to Monaco in early 2022, Charlene's public appearances have been carefully managed and noticeably infrequent. When she does appear at official events, body language experts have had a field day analyzing the distance between her and Albert, the lack of spontaneous affection, the formal interactions that feel more like diplomatic protocol than marital intimacy. There have been solo trips, extended absences explained away as charitable commitments or personal projects, and a general pattern that suggests two people living parallel lives rather than a life together. Through it all, the palace has maintained a united front, issuing statements affirming the strength of the marriage whenever rumors reach fever pitch, but actions speak louder than carefully crafted press releases. This brings us back to the anniversary video that has everyone talking because it represents something undeniable and impossible to spin. An anniversary, particularly a significant one like 10 years, is traditionally the time when couples make their most public displays of unity, when they reaffirm their commitment not just to each other but to the world watching. For royals especially, these milestones are opportunities for carefully staged photo shoots, gala celebrations, interviews where they reminisce about their journey and project stability. The fact that Charlene chose to mark this occasion separately, that there's video evidence of her celebrating this milestone away from Albert and away from Monaco, speaks volumes about the current state of this union. The implications extend beyond just marital discord because in royal families, personal relationships are inextricably linked to constitutional and diplomatic considerations. Albert is not just a husband but a reigning monarch of a principality with centuries of history and tradition. His heir, Prince Jacques, represents the future of the Grimaldi dynasty. Charlene is not just a wife but a princess consort whose role carries expectations and responsibilities. A marriage breakdown at this level creates complications that go far beyond personal unhappiness, affecting everything from succession planning to Monaco's international image to the emotional well-being of two young children growing up in an increasingly public spotlight. What makes this situation particularly poignant is that Charlene never seemed entirely comfortable in the role thrust upon her. Unlike some royal brides who appear born for the spotlight, Charlene always seemed more at ease in a swimming pool than at a state dinner, more genuine when discussing charitable causes than when performing ceremonial duties. There's a sense watching her over the years that she tried desperately to fit the mold, to be the princess Monaco needed, to suppress her true self in service of duty and family, but that the cost of that suppression has been devastating to her mental and emotional health. The question now is whether continuing to maintain appearances serves anyone's interests, or whether acknowledgement and honesty might actually be the more courageous path. Royal marriages have evolved significantly in recent decades, with divorces that once would have been unthinkable now accepted as unfortunate but sometimes necessary realities. Princess Diana and Prince Charles, Princess Anne and Mark Phillips, Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, all navigated marriage breakdowns while maintaining their roles and co-parenting their children. Monaco itself has its own history of complicated royal romances, from Grace Kelly's tragic end to Albert's well-documented history of children from previous relationships. There's precedent for navigating these waters, yet the palace continues to insist that everything is fine, that rumors are exaggerated, that Charlene and Albert remain committed to each other and to their duties. The anniversary video changes that narrative because it provides concrete evidence that contradicts the official story. You cannot simultaneously claim a strong, united marriage and have video proof of separate anniversary celebrations. The dissonance between what we're told and what we can see with our own eyes has reached a breaking point, and royal watchers are no longer willing to accept palace statements at face value. Social media has exploded with reactions ranging from sympathy for Charlene to frustration with what many see as gaslighting, from calls for the princess to prioritize her own happiness to concern about how all this turmoil affects Jacques and Gabriella. As we process this latest development, it's worth remembering that behind all the titles and protocols are human beings navigating complex emotions and impossible situations. Charlene is a woman who appears deeply unhappy, trapped in circumstances that may have seemed manageable once but have become increasingly untenable over time. Albert is a man trying to balance personal desires with public responsibilities, perhaps genuinely believing that maintaining the facade serves a greater good. And there are 2 children in the middle of all this, watching and learning what marriage means, what commitment looks like, and what happens when duty conflicts with authenticity. The coming weeks and months will be crucial in determining where this story goes next. Will the palace continue insisting everything is fine in the face of mounting evidence to the contrary? Will Charlene make a definitive move toward independence, perhaps following the path of other royal women who chose personal happiness over traditional expectations? Will Albert acknowledge that perhaps love alone cannot sustain a relationship that seems to cause one partner so much visible pain? Or will they find some middle ground, some arrangement that allows both to fulfill their roles while living increasingly separate lives? Whatever happens next, this anniversary video has ensured that the conversation around their marriage can no longer be controlled by carefully managed press releases and official denials. If Princess Charlene of Monaco could speak freely without royal protocols and palace constraints, what do you think she would tell the world about these past 10 years?